They'll probably say, where exactly are you going with this? I see you really trying to take it there. Old school flow, chew you out, ain't fair. Jordan pants don't...
Yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Zai. You already know what time it is, man. But anyways, man, as you can see, yeah, I'm an anime head. But man, it's funny, man. Like, I was just talking to a few different people as far as like on this whole music thing, and I was wondering, I was like, man, you know, regardless of how much you think your lyrics may be somewhat innovative, or you've came with something snazzy, something quick to say that somebody else may not been able to say because their thought pattern didn't think along those lines. Like, regardless, you wonder, like, man, why haven't like these songs like really taken off? And it's like, I've seen other fools, like as far as homies that really got major skills, and the same thing, they never seem to get that little oof. You have people that would rather support dudes from other states that rap entirely different, and or they only support other black artists. They don't support nothing Hispanic, and it's just kind of like, damn, like, and it's funny. And even me, like, I see it and I'm like, man, you know, I support this dude because he's raw. There's a lot of fools that are just major spitters that really got whatever you're looking for. If you're looking for bars, they got bars. If you're looking for metaphors, they got metaphors. If you're looking for just straight out raw dog street and just, they got it. So I can understand why people would gravitate to that music. Me, myself, I make music, you know, I'm a double S-er, but at the same time, like, I talk a certain way, I spit a certain way, I don't use the N-word, you know what I mean? And it's not necessarily because I'm in fear of somebody saying that it's wrong to say, because at the end of the day, like, I'm as dark as night and I can say exactly what I want, but I choose to forego that word or forego saying that word because it just don't really make sense to me as far as like my type of get down, my stature, and the way I have presented myself and continue to present myself. So I choose to not to really say it, you know what I mean? It's something, if I am messing around with like family member, that's different, but as far as like trying to rap like that in order to garnish some sort of attention, I just don't do it. It's just not me, and I'm gonna stay true to myself regardless. Now, you know, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, well, maybe you don't get the type of notoriety you want because you're older, and people, and it's true, that might be it, and I mean, I say it a million times, I'm not trying to be no famous rap star, but there's some songs and there's some times that I'll come and the deliverance will be just right there, and I wonder why people just don't gravitate more to it. And in a sense, like, I've heard from certain people as far as like dudes that I deal with, like, they're like, hey, fool, there's some fools that just don't, you know, focus on your music, not because it's not hard, but it's because at the end of the day, fool, you're still black. And it's like, and people don't want to give me that, or they don't want to really give anybody that is either black and it's a homie that or that raps like he's black, that type of shine, because it's just, but then they'll turn around and they'll give a black rapper that is like a Crip or a Blood or somebody that's just supposedly street, that don't really care nothing about them, the type of shine that they deserve as far as like lyrics, but they'll just give them that because it's more believable, or which is funny because, I mean, the first 48 tell it all, but I'm not here to disrespect nobody. It's just like I've seen it, and I just like to ask these questions. And it's like, one individual said that, another one's like, don't take it personal. You know, most RAZA don't like to support nobody that's Hispanic, nobody that's Latino, unless they're like fucking Daddy Yankee or Bad Bunny, something you can dance to. Some people say because, you know, RAZA can't rap, like they rap with the whole Angel Baby style, and people are just not into that no more, and the whole Cholo thing is dead. And then there's some people that only support you if you rap that way. If you're still only pushing like the whole, you know, orale, what's up, and like, they're only supporting that, and anything outside of that they're not having, regardless of the fact, like, me and some homies don't use the N-word. It's just me, the constant plight, black fool, regardless of how hard the lyrics are, black fool, and they smile in your face 24/7, but at the end of the day, just really not gonna give you that room. There's Hispanic outlets right now that won't recognize me for nothing, but they'll recognize some young fool that's supposedly a homie, but this fool used the N-word like it's going out of style and don't even look like a homie. But like, I get it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it, but it's just it's daunting to hear it from people that you, and the thing is, I don't mind hearing it from them because they're respectful about it, and it's just like, these are fools that I fuck with, so they just straight out. But when you know the thought pattern, the cats, and know that the only reason you ain't really getting the notoriety you want with some of these songs is the fact that you're not rapping them a certain way, like, because I won't be like, you know, Simon que si and woo woo, like, just because I won't rap like that, that's because people want to keep it real with their own, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that they stick to. But it's funny, like, because I hear people complain about it, but it's really nothing new. And that's the reason why people are in the position they are now. It's like people are like, oh, well, I'm supporting it. Yeah, you're supporting the dudes that sound like they're black. It's just, you're supporting that. Like, you're not supporting your gente because, you know, no, you're supporting them because for a certain reason. And I mean, I get it. Like, you know, it's like you're still supporting your own regardless if they sound closer to somebody else. You're supporting your own for that. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that they're somewhere in the game. You know what I'm saying? But then you'll turn around with somebody else that don't agree with them and be talking to them the whole time. But yet in when you're behind closed doors, you support them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just one of those things. But yeah, that's the real plight, and that's the reason why dudes are not gonna be on top. Like, I see cats and they're like, oh, well, this fool is on top, but look at the views. Some of these fools paying for their views. Like, it just, you gotta look at it and weigh it out. It don't make sense. It's like, dude, how you selling this many copies, but you're only doing this over here, or you got this one sound, but this over here. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it don't make any sense. Or fools are selling 50,000 copies, 100,000 copies, and not out the trunk, but just off the rip on social media. But yet they do shows and they only got like 30 people there. They gotta have their friends bring friends and their friends bring friends, and then at the end of the day, they ain't even telling you that they really paid for the whole venue and they got absolutely none of that money back because they didn't sell no ticket. They just invited a gang of people in order to look like they sold. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's like, and that's the problem. That's the problem, in the fact that fools don't want to support each other. Like, I see it all the time. Like, right now on social media, you got homies going at it for absolutely bull. And a lot of people are doing it because they just want to be heard. They're not doing it because they actually have any real credibility or fact on it. Just because they want to be heard. They want to be heard being controversial. But there's enough rappers out there that really got clout for you to be the controversial with them. But people would choose not to go at them because they're scared that somehow them fools can impede on them coming up in the future. There's a lot of black rappers that do a gang of dumb stuff, but fools will not go at them because they're too scared to go at them. They're too scared for a lot of different facts. Some physically just don't want to see them. Some just don't want to be in the future later on down the line, and this fool could have helped them out, but they, you know what I mean, and or they felt like maybe this fool may be able to help them out, so they choose not to want to go at them. But they'll step on every other homie out there, call them this, call them that, because who they deal with. At the end of the day, with me, I don't care if you're Capone, I don't care if you're this fool. As long as you still got a good name, as far as like you ain't wanting for something, I don't care who you collab with. As long as you ain't dealing with PC. But if some fools with Capone and some fools mess with Criminal and some fools mess with this fool and some fools mess with this fool and some are with the homie rest in peace Toker or some fool, it don't matter who's with who, as long as at the end of the day you all come up. But cats cannot get past that, and I see it all the time. Like, oh yeah, like, I get it. Like, with me, you don't have to mess with my music because at the end of the day, I'm still Moreno and you don't want to see me come up, which is crazy because it's like there's times where I can really put the double S on the map if you just put a little backing, or even other black homies that got major skill, or even homies that you know, they got a little swag about themselves and they really got lyrics. You could push them, like really like put them on the map, but you choose not to because you feel like I don't know. It's like crabs in a barrel. You know what I'm saying? It's like people say it about blacks all the time. Oh, they have no food. Don't want to see the other succeed. But in truth, you do the same exact thing. Like RAZA right now is like really hating on all the other ones. The only ones that are not are like these young fools like Edgar's and all these other fools that, you know, they pushing the culture. They pushing the whole Shoreline Mafia and all this. Like they want to see fools come up. That's their style of music and they're pushing it. And then you got fools that are still cholo. It is what it is. You know what I mean? That don't want to see that happen. Why? Because they figure if you erase that, they are no longer relevant. When in retrospect, that's not true. There's always going to be fools that want to bump that music. It just may not be a broad because a lot of the people that grow up now are different. They're not with the type of stuff that we're with. They're not wearing cascades and all that. You see that still now. I see that more of as a novelty because a lot of people are no longer dressing like that except older homies and like people dressing for car magazines and stuff like that. But that stilo as far as and really being like, don't get me wrong, like I see people still rocking it, but they're not even gangster. Like you got high knots that rock it, but they're not really gangster. They just dressing the part because they took the whole gangster thing and just brought the whole Chicano. Like, okay, well, we're Chicano, so we got the right. But it's like so different. Like in the 90s, you couldn't even dress a certain way because if you did, you were assumed to be a gang member, and regardless of whether you were or not, you were gonna get taxed for it. And I'm not talking about your money, but fools are gonna bang on you, and fools are gonna push up on you because you're dressing the part. But nowadays, anybody can dress it. You know what I'm saying? I remember there used to be clubs in Hollywood that, you know, you would see fools all gangster, you hit them up and they're just paisas. They just like the stilo, the paisiters, you know what I mean? But they like the stilo, so they dress like it. And then there's some that will get caught up as far as like get shot, killed. Some fools would just get beat up and then they stop dressing like that. And some fools eventually just got into bottoms because they liked the stilo so much they wanted to continue it. Now I don't want to get all over the place, but it's just real. A lot of people, especially like RAZA right now, it's like they're not. There's a certain criteria that if you ain't meeting for the youngsters, they ain't trying to deal with. If you're not meeting a certain criteria for, you know, the older 20s and into the 30s and the 40s, they're not hearing it. And if you're not meeting a certain criteria from the 40s into the 50s and 60s, they're really not hearing. They're not trying to. They want to hear funk. They want to hear this. Other fools want to hear like babies. Some fools want to hear that them 808 slapping. You know what I mean? It's like it's so much diversity amongst like the Hispanics, especially in the rap, but. Like I notice even like with the homies that are black that still use the N-word, like I know why they're doing it, because at the end of the day it's like you're damn if you do, damn if you don't. If you try to do the whole cholo thing and you're black, everybody looking at you like a straight dummy. Yeah, you got some RAZA that's gonna be like, oh yeah, that's hard, but then a lot like that's our stuff. You know, you're trying to take our place, so you ain't gonna get no love. And then yeah, a lot of fools are using the N-word that are homies now, especially the black homies, because at the end of the day, they ain't getting no respect from the homies, period. Like, you got fools that just really don't want to acknowledge the fact that you got black homies that are spitters and that could actually open up a whole nother door, but people are just kind of feel like, oh, well, if it's not one of our own, we just ain't dealing with it. I got a gang of real fools I know that I deal with that ain't even tripping. As long as the spit is right there, they're good with it. But that's all I wanted to say, man. Like, people want to get to the next level. Sometimes you gotta do is just to get in the door, you know what I mean? Not even just mess with black homies. It's like at the end of the day, it's double S. Like, I can't speak for like the whole Mexicano car. I can only speak for the double S black homies from my side. Like, there's a lot of fools that got like real spit. If cats just get beyond the whole bullshit of race and all that, like you could go far, dog. Like, there's a lot of doors that we'll be able to get in that you can't, and there's a lot of doors that obviously that you're getting in right now that we can't, because people just don't really, regardless of what we represent, want to see us get there. And that's all I'm gonna say, you know what I mean? No hate towards nobody, nobody really trips. Like me, I'm already too old, so, but other black homies are like, nah, that we're gonna continue rapping like we rap, because that's how we're getting it. They're essentially getting their respect from other morenos, just the way they spit and the fact that they can rap. when they should be getting love from the homies, but it's not always like that. You got dudes that just don't want to see it, and I've ran into enough of them to know why, but it is what it is. For the homies that's out there representing, man, shout out to you. And for the black homies still trying to get it that can't because you got certain obstacles in your way, just keep pushing. You'll get there regardless. Just keep pushing. That's all I'm gonna say. With that being said, I'm your boy Zod, and I'm out this bitch.
Kneel before Zod!